Hi, Mrs. Jerry.
Hi, Jonah. Oh. Hi, Jonah.
Cheryl, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Can you
good.
hear me?
Yes, I always think about the wrong buttons to press because every time I log in, it's always going to be the wrong ones. I'll turn on my monitor.
I think Jerry just has to allow make me the host, and then I can make you guys the co-host, and then we'll be able to turn on our pictures. As I'm like I'm making hand gestures as if you can see me.
It's all good. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, thank you so much for participating. I'm excited to have you speaking at this conference.
Of course, you guys have done so much for me.
Yeah.
I have to do some other things back. How's everything going?
Everything's been okay. Just really crazy this week. And I mean, it includes this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it was just kind of I should not have signed up for 2 sessions.
Why would you say that?
Well, like 1 session is enough. Like I learned my lesson, okay?
I know what you mean. Oh, I did you know, when I was doing this last year, I had I think I did 2 sessions, and then one was for DOT, the other one was for, like, I think I picked up after Angela, and I did the other one for homelessness in I can't remember what it was though. I can't remember what session it was for. Oh, it was for the whole new. I did it for the whole new. And it was just one thing after another, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and I am not good at multitasking. I was having such a difficult time, and I was confused. Like, why are these people putting messages in the Zoom chat? I'm not good with technology, so I didn't understand.
I know, right? The last time, oh my goodness, everybody kept putting things inside the chat and then telling me that my microphone was giving feedback, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
So for Amy and Ryan that just joined, I'm just oh, Jerry.
Okay, I just made you, sorry, I just made you a co-host, and then eventually I will switch you over to host.
Okay. So can I make everybody else a co-host now then?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Let's see.
And I just want to make sure you guys get all set up before I leave.
Yes.
Leave you in charge.
Can I ask a question about the chat? So since I just was in another session, like I was confused because things were coming into the Zoom chat, and so if I see things coming in on the Zoom chat, does that mean that we're live? Because I was like, are we live? And I like asked all the panelists, are we live?
Yeah.
So if comments are coming in on the Zoom chat, that means hello, everybody can see us, right?
Yeah, and we'll start in, we think so, at 1:30, and then it's being recorded. So, but what we're gonna do in the back end is cut this beginning portion and then make it look pretty.
Basically. It is one last question because it came up in the other one. So one of my panelists in the other session afterwards, she was like, can we get a copy of like the chat that was coming in? And I went over to the platform, and it wasn't the same. I thought it was gonna be the same. And
no, they're not connected.
Got it. Sorry, I didn't. Okay, good to know.
No.
I'll save this chat.
And Cheryl and Jerry, it says we can't start our video.
I think
So
I
yeah,
have to.
I'm gonna have to
um,
make you co-host. Yeah. You want me to?
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
I'll do it.
I'm not good at
Okay.
change role.
There.
Oh,
There.
Amy,
Okay.
got it. Oh, I can't.
oh, you should be, but I'll do it real fast, and
It
then
just says
I'm
change
gonna
role to attendee. That's all it lets me do.
Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna change you to the actual host, Cheryl.
So we're missing Elliot.
There you go.
Is she in the waiting room or? Anybody see
There
Elliot?
shouldn't be a waiting room.
Okay. Ryan and Jonah, can you turn your cameras on?
Okay, I think, yeah, you both.
I think I
There you
can.
go. Awesome.
There we go.
Yay.
Yep.
Ryan, you look like you have like a coat on. You look like you're in a cold place. Great. So now we're just waiting for Elliot. Sorry, Jerry. Oh no. Jerry's frozen.
No.
Oh, hi. Yeah,
Sorry.
I guess we're good to go. So, so as soon as I guess I have difficulties because all of my clocks say a different time. But like, should I go like by my phone? Like as soon as it says 1:30, we're live. Is that how it is?
Yeah. I would go
Okay.
by your phone.
Okay. Sounds good.
Either way, I mean, if it's taking a little longer, I mean that's fine too. So
Okay. I won't
it's whenever
ask.
everybody's ready.
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay.
just start whenever you want. We can start right now. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
I thought I was asking just the panelists if we were live, and then it turned out to be host, panelists, and everybody.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, "Yeah, we can see and hear you."
Okay. All right. I'll leave you to it, Cheryl. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
That'll be awesome.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry.
All right. So now it's just us.
So Cheryl, are you gonna share the slides? Or should we
Yes. Yeah. So basically, we're just gonna like in the beginning, we just have a couple of slides, and then I'll take the slides down after you guys intro yourselves. So I'll just do a little spiel at the beginning, and then I'll just say that we have these 4 amazing speakers, and then I'll pass it over to you guys to intro yourselves.
Okay, thank you, Kunan.
Like, nope. Feel free, like 2 to 4 minutes, like throw your whole life in there, that's fine. And then I'll take down the slides after that, and then we'll go into like some of the discussion points. Yeah, should be good. And based on my experience from the last session, my understanding is that you'll be able to see all the chats coming through on the Zoom right here. I didn't know that before. And so I'm gonna try and do my best to sort through things. I'm not that great at multitasking, but I will do my best. And if you guys see something and you're like, oh yeah, I want to address this specific question or whatever, please feel free to go ahead. Oh no,
Okay.
where's Elliot?
I know, I get a little nervous. Where's Elliot? I hope she found the right link. I checked the email. I don't see any emails from her.
I think we each had like a special email to us. So I don't know if, Yeah, I'll just email her. I mean, since she's a PIC staffer, she might be running around.
Yeah. And Cheryl, you'll, for the intros, you'll cue us, right? You'll tell us who goes when.
Yeah, if it's okay with you guys, I was thinking, I don't know, I always, maybe it's because my last name starts with a B, but I usually go like alphabetically by last name. So I was thinking Ryan, Amy, Jonah, Elliot.
Sure.
Yay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Wait, let me make you a co-host so you can turn on your camera.
Oh, okay, thanks.
I know. Wait, oh God, how do I do that again? Oh, panelist. And make co-host. Okay, you should be able to turn on your camera.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yay. Oh. Okay, so my phone says 127.
How are we starting this again?
Yeah, so sorry. Basically I'll do a little spiel of, what session it is, blah blah blah. And then I will just say each of your names, and then I'll turn it over to you guys. We'll go with Ryan, Amy, Jonah, and then you, Elliot, to introduce yourself. Feel free to mention anything about yourself that you would like. Maybe 2 to 4 minutes, 4 minutes max. And then from there, I'll be sharing a couple of slides, just like basic slides for the intro part. And then from there, I'll take the slides down and we'll move into the discussion. And then after the discussion, we'll have Q&A. And thank you. Bye. Maybe I'll share my screen now.
Did we make our own questions in case we don't get enough from the audience? Do we have like a prompt list somewhere? We did, right? Prompts.
I have a discussion prompts.
Okay. Yes, I see that.
I mean, since I've been an intern and AmeriCorps, maybe I can come up with stuff on the fly. Okay, let me share my screen so that it's ready. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have 1 minute. Okay, I think it is 1:30 now. I see people piling in. So happy Friday and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the 1:30 session on building capacity with support from interns and AmeriCorps members. My name is Cheryl Belisario, and I work within the Office of the Governor's Coordinator on Homelessness. I will be your host for today's session. So like the other conference session, this session will be recorded and will be made available for viewing later on. So please put any questions or comments in the green chat by clicking on the Ask button. And you can also upvote questions as well if you have a question and someone has already asked it. So that way we know if multiple people are interested in the same thing. So I will ask questions that seem relevant in conversation to our speakers throughout the presentation, throughout the discussion, but we'll try to hold about the last 10 to 15 minutes at the end for Q&A as well. So we have 4 great speakers for this session today. We have Ryan Beckley, Amy Chung, Jonah Saribe, and Elliot Woods. So I'll let them introduce themselves, starting with Ryan, then Amy, Jonah, and Elliot.
All right, so my name is Ryan Beckley, and I have been with the City Office of Housing and Homelessness for 2 years now, or coming up on 2 years. My title, I'm the Housing Communications Specialist, and basically I craft the voice of the city's homeless efforts. And that includes communication planning and strategy. I do a little social media posting, but also just helping us better understand our homeless issues here in Oahu.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. Can everybody hear me okay? I'm Amy Chung, and I am faculty and a field education coordinator with the Department of Social Work at the Thompson School of Social Work and Public Health at the University of Hawaii Manoa. And in our field office, we place students in the community at various sites, and for both graduate and undergraduate social work students. And we've worked with a number of public and private agencies statewide that provide services to the houseless community. And we've been doing this for a long time now. We've worked with agencies such as the Governor's Coordinator on Homelessness Office, Catholic Charities, Family Promised, policy level agencies such as Focus, Halikipa, and RISE. Their homeless outreach programs for teenagers and young adults, IHS, and a number of other agencies. And our students always find placements that are valuable to their experience and education that helps them. I'm sorry, I don't know why my camera is not staying on. Sorry about that. It helps them in their careers as they go forward and become social workers.
And aloha, everyone. My name is Jonah, and I'm a medical case manager with Hawaii Health and Harm Reduction Center. As a case manager, my primary role is to help engage with clients who are living with HIV, creating access to care and engagement to services to help them with their access to wellness. And just a recent alumnus of the UH Manoa Thompson School of Social Work and Public Health, and I came in actually in the middle when before they were Thompson School, they were also Myron B. Thompson School of Social Work. So it's a very half and half, just recent alumnus, and I've been advocating ever since, and I've been able to being humbled to be under the Office of the Governor's Coordinator on Homelessness for my practical field work. And yeah, thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Elliot Woods. I'm currently the Communications and Training Coordinator at Partners in Care. Here I coordinate trainings for our outreach workers across the island, and I'm planning and leading the point in time count that will take place at the end of January. Prior to joining Partners in Care this past July, I served as an AmeriCorps for 2 years with Honolulu Habitat for Humanity. So transitioning from AmeriCorps into full-time job at Partners in Care was a good transition, and I was able to take what I learned in AmeriCorps and during my service years and apply a lot of it to my role now. And thanks for having me.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to stop sharing because we're going to go more into discussion now. So I guess let's start off first with understanding the differences between AmeriCorps members and internships, as well as the difference between AmeriCorps Vista members and AmeriCorps State and National members. It gets a little confusing, but yeah, just kind of giving an overview of the differences, you know, what each would do.
Oh, go ahead.
I can start. So I am. I think I'm the only current AmeriCorps member right now. So yeah, I'm Vista, AmeriCorps Vista. That stands for Volunteer in Service to America. So the difference between AmeriCorps Vista and like national, I think there's like it's NCCCC, and I'm not even going to try to tell you what that stands for because I don't remember. But and then there's like state and national. AmeriCorps Vistas are given a little bit more autonomy. I feel. I think that the other ones are more. They have different project sites, and I actually was an NCCC member at one point. So and I was with FEMA Corps at the time, and it was a lot more project based. We would move around to different project sites. Whereas as a Vista member, I'm a lot more centralized, and I have one supervisor that I work for the entirety of my term. But yeah, just speaking about AmeriCorps, the difference between AmeriCorps and like an intern, I think that AmeriCorps is a national service organization, and so it might appeal to people who are more passionate about serving the community, and there are more benefits included with AmeriCorps than a traditional intern. And so some of the benefits include stipends, end of the year stipends or education award. There are healthcare and childcare benefits. There's definitely a lot of more support when it comes to being in AmeriCorps. You have the fellow AmeriCorps, there's different Facebook groups. There's what is it called? The Vista campus that you can be a part of, where you can kind of communicate with other Vistas, and there's just a lot more. There's a lot more that you can benefit from being a Vista than going the traditional intern route.
Yeah, I think to touch on what Ryan said too in general, so AmeriCorps, it's a big network across the country. And basically when I was joining AmeriCorps, you fill out your application for AmeriCorps in general, and then you choose different sites that you want to apply for. So I remember when I was applying, I applied for some positions in like Denver, Seattle, here. You can choose the location, it shows the service dates. And so you can work for, you know, Habitat for Humanity, you can work for FEMA, City and County of Honolulu. It's really a broad connection, but all of them are based on community needs. So education, environment, public safety, health, housing, things like that. And it connects you for, it's a year of service usually. I think it's from 10 to 11 months for most programs. And for AmeriCorps State and National, that's what I was rather than a Vista. It's more so, it can be direct or indirect service, but it's using the resources that they already have to create a long-term change and make it more sustainable. So building the capacity of a program that's already in place rather than coming up with an entirely new program for that organization. And it is federally funded, and I think in all 50 states too, which is pretty cool. But
and then I'll speak a little bit about an overview. Most people know what a practicum student or intern would be in terms of their education. So for us in the School of Social Work, all students, graduate and undergraduate, are required to do a certain number of hours in their field education placement. And so with the students, they have requirements from the school, they have competencies that they need to meet. So it's not just someone who's volunteering or working like a paid position. And normally, unfortunately, field placements are uncompensated unless there's a special grant or agreement with the agency. And there's oversight. So people like me, the field coordinator, oversees the student, works with the field site, works with the student to make sure they have the support they need in order to get the experience that's required for their education, whether it's graduate or undergraduate degrees. And we also have an affiliation agreement, a legal agreement with each agency in terms of liability and support for the student. So there's a lot of structure and oversight that goes into like the planning to make an agency a field site. But we're always looking for good field sites in all different fields across the state. And Jonah was one of my students, so maybe he can speak a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, a student within the past, maybe like within the last 5 months of still graduation, right, Amy? So, but then, yeah, absolutely. So being placed over at these sites, it was pretty great and enriching as somebody who needs to do more practical work, especially in the community where you can't really get a lot of things in the classroom. Of course, like everything has to be hands-on, otherwise you're never going to learn. And I think that that was one of the best things that came out of the experience, was the fact that you are immersed inside of real practical experiences in real case loads, in actual people's lives, and you have to be willing to know and to understand those kinds of parts of it, and be self-reliant and independent in your learning in order to figure those things out, but also maintaining the integrity of the standards of the school. So a very complex amount of things to do in order to keep what is it called? Keep it with accreditation, I guess, if you could say that, right?
I'll just throw my 2 cents in here as well. Since I've been an intern as well as a AmeriCorps member in both Vista and State and National, so I saw like, so for my State and National AmeriCorps year, it was very much direct service. I was at Legal Aid Society of Hawaii, and then you know, I had clients there. And then for my second year as a Vista, it was very much, you know, building the nonprofit that I was with. So like I was helping to measure outcomes, like developing a system to be able to measure outcomes because the organization did not have that previously. And I was helping with different campaigns. So it was indirect service, but it's helping, you know, the overall organization. So next topic. Just to give people an understanding of, you know, what interns and AmeriCorps members can do for organizations, can you speak a little bit to that about what, well, for the 3 individuals with experience as an intern or AmeriCorps years, you know, what you brought to the organization, some of the, I guess, work products that you developed, and then Amy, you know, you've seen so many students going through their practicum experiences, so I'm sure you have a lot of relevant information as well here.
I can start off again. So some of the things that I've done, and actually in my first year, it was a documentary that I actually created with an intern. And me and the intern, we were able to go out, collect some of these interviews, and put together what we felt depicted homelessness on Oahu. It's titled Rock Bottom. And yeah, that was a cool project because it was something that had never been done before. And I felt like it was something that kind of catered to me and the other guys' skill sets. But it also wasn't something traditional. It was something that that our supervisor felt comfortable with us doing and wanted us to kind of use our skills and maximize them, I guess, right? And so did a couple of different like video projects, but I've participated in different like outreach events. I mean, there's really no limit to what we can or cannot do. I mean, I guess there are limitations, but we're pretty much here to build capacity, and however we can do that, that is what we do. This year has been a little bit different here at this city just because of the administration change and COVID kind of being in year 2. So I've been a lot more internal this year, but still working on things that help build capacity for our office and helping to plan different programs and projects and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can go next. So at Honolulu Habitat, I served as a family services coordinator as an AmeriCorps. At the same time, there was also a full-time staff member who was the family services coordinator. And while we're not in homelessness, we are in affordable housing. So that does entail very lengthy application processes, financial assessments, securing funding. It is a lot for one employee to handle. So when I came in, I think 3 years ago, I was able to help streamline all of the processes and kind of have a fresh look at, okay, so this is how the whole application process is for the home build program or the home maintenance program. How can we make it more efficient? What steps can we combine? What steps can we change? Even just from the application itself, you know, we can redo it, revamp it, make it more clear. And we did find like great success in that process. We were able to have more information sessions in the community. We had a record number of applications received, a record number of applications approved even. So expanding and streamlining that process really had a holistic effect on the organization, because the more families we approve, then the construction department can go ahead and build more houses. So I think designing all of that and developing more was super beneficial, including just getting the word out there about what our program is and how to do it. The information sessions we held over 2 years, I think we had more than 26 in person and virtual, and we reached over 200 community members. Even though a lot of them didn't apply, they still know how the program works and gets the name out there. And, you know, people will go around the island and see our signs over in Waimanalo or on the east side, and they have more of an idea with it. I think in terms of building capacity as a whole organization, I was also able to work with the construction, volunteer, fundraising department to see how we can all work together to make the process faster and to make it more efficient. So my department, you know, we got it down. Let's see how we can all work together as an organization. And that was beneficial. It was very good.
And then I'll speak to some of the just general things that students have done at field sites around homelessness and houselessness, and then Jonah can get into more specifics because he did some really cool projects with the governor's office. So social work students can do a variety of things, everything from direct practice stuff to community organizing to policy level stuff. So if they're at a program like Halikipa's Yo program in Waikiki, they're there and part of the drop-in center with the homeless identified young adults and teens can come in, and they're there to support the clients in terms of using the computer or getting food or laundry, or just having someone to talk to and be a supportive person to give community resources and referrals if they need other assistance beyond their immediate needs. With Catholic Charities has the housing assistance and referral program. So our students there are part of that whole process when clients either walk in or call in looking for referrals and support related to paying their rent or their electric bill payments, or accessing recently some of the COVID funding for houselessness and keeping people housed. And then agencies like Focused, and I think Christy's here in the audience, do very community and policy level things. So during the Ledge, they're tracking bills, they're submitting testimony, educating the community on bills related to the issues that the agency is supporting. And various other things, case management, helping people get into permanent housing with Family Promise and IHS, And sometimes it's related to other, issues too, like helping them get an ID or getting medical care or applying for benefits. So they can do a variety of things. And then I think Jenna can speak to this, but the governor's office has their website. A lot of the students help build some of the PSAs and information and educational resources on the website. And Jenna, you want to talk about what you've done?
Yeah, thanks, Amy. So absolutely. So in the beginning, I think that what Amy had said was very much on point about how our roles inside of these offices and these field placement sites are so extensive, and they kind of always switch up here and there depending on what is being done at the time, right? So when I first started over at the Office of the Governor's Coordinator on Homelessness, we were also in a partnership with the Hawaii State Library, and I was placed over at the Hawaii State Library right next to Iolani Palace, and it was really like more micro level things where we would engage with people. We would meet with these patrons of the library who are coming in and learning stories about them and connecting them to a service that they possibly needed at the moment. And there was a lot of directness with it. But then other restrictions happened, like COVID, and that had us switching gears. So we had to be more compliant about the safety of others first. So my role transitioned back into our actual office, and I worked more on the macro level, which was doing more of what PSAs of spreading information and doing more things to engage with spreading awareness and program specific details among a lot of our consumers and the people who view our content online. So really getting into where we feel like that we could squeeze our way into helping as much as possible, but it was always a guessing game and attempting to find out where we can get our field practice situated as much as possible.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to put in the chat a link that you can see some of the work products that the practicum students from our office have worked on. It's really impressive, the stuff that they've gotten together. And Jonah, he's very humble, but he also these practicum sites kind of give not just the students, but also the sites that they're placed in opportunities to kind of innovate and think of new ways of doing things, new ways of communicating. So like Jonah actually came up with the idea to do a podcast on different topics related to homelessness. And that's not something that we had thought of, so it's really a good way to innovate as well. So the next topic that I was hoping for you guys to talk about is around like opportunities. So that could be with job opportunities for furthering education for the students and the AmeriCorps members, but also for the sites themselves. Like for example, Jonah, he was a practicum student in the Office of the Governor's Coordinator on Homelessness, and now right after graduation, he because of his time as an intern, he was able to connect with Hawaii Health and Harm Reduction Center, and now he's a very valuable member of their team as well. So yeah, just talk about a bit about opportunities for the individuals participating in these programs, as well as building staff capacity and organizational capacity through these years, semesters, years of training and practice.
I can go ahead and get started with that one. So opportunity-wise, I was in my last semester of college. I feel like a lot of college graduates could probably relate to this. I did not know what I wanted to do with my life. I had been interning at a couple nonprofits throughout schooling, And one of my supervisors was actually an AmeriCorps alum and pointed me in that direction. So knowing that it is only a year of service, I kind of believe you can do anything for a year. So why not move across the country, go to an island, work for this nonprofit over there. So it gave me the chance to kind of have a gap year after college and into like real adulthood where you're having a career, a 401k and all of that adult stuff. And it also gave me a chance to learn what I do and what I don't want to do. So, I know I want to serve my community. I know I like to work with processes and planning and trainings and things like that. Whereas I learned that I am not big on like direct service, for example. I like to be in the background more. So it really taught me a lot about myself and what I am good at and what I can give to an organization. So I think for doing that for 2 years, and then right as I finished that in July, found Partners in Care, and this position that I have now is very much in line with what I like to do, what I like to think I'm good at, and what I enjoy doing. I think in an opportunity wise for Honolulu Habitat, for instance, in general, it did show them that in order to continue having this success in their programs, that they probably do need to hire another family services coordinator, not just an AmeriCorps position. So I think that it is a great way to show an organization, hey, this is what you can do. If you have the capacity to add in another member full-time to do it, then you can keep succeeding and improving in what you do.
I can speak really quickly. I mean, for our students, it really gives them a connection to the community and gets them doing their actual work. And I think we have other alumni who are also in the attendee list today. So many of our students get hired by the agencies they do a practicum at, or or through their practicum placement, they're exposed to other agencies in the community, which causes them to have connections. And so usually, and the goal is for them to lead to employment, and maybe some of them get a position where they can get hours and get clinically licensed, or do other work. Yeah, so students get a lot of opportunities to for basically employment. Ryan, did you want to add anything for opportunities?
So just follow up what you guys said, just the opportunities to find employment. You have that other departments within your organization. So I work for the city that's connected to all of the other cities departments that I have been able to interface with in my time here. I also, there's resources. So one of the resources that I'm very grateful to have access to is the city's license to Esri GIS software, which these licenses, I don't want to lead you wrong, but they're expensive. And they're not even, actually, I tried to get a trial version on my personal computer last year when COVID hit, and they weren't even offering it because they were only offering it to first responders. And so having being contracted by the city, it's extremely, it's beneficial for me because I have that access. But yeah, being in AmeriCorps Vista also gives me other benefits as far as like AmeriCorps is a federal program. Therefore, it allows me to get what is called non-competitive eligibility with other federal jobs as long as they accept it. So the opportunities for me have just been great because I just have an opportunity to learn. Like Elliot was saying, I can figure out what I do like, what I don't like, and what Amy was saying. It's really given me a lot more connection to the work that I'm doing, and I see more of the work that I do everywhere I go. So even when I'm out, in Chinatown, I have a a lot more connection to the homeless people that I see outside of Walmart, you know, and I see it differently than I might have seen it in the past, or like other people are seeing it when they pass by, you know.
And to echo off of that, yeah, my goodness, opportunity for me to start over here at the Hawaii Health and Harm Reduction Center was in itself, it kind of aligned with what I wanted to do after a while of being in field placement and being at different job how do I say this, career lives in past two, with me being in different areas like within culinary, where I recently left industry to do more things, more hands-on with people, rather than to just work at a restaurant for my entirety of my life. But then I realized that I really do enjoy working with people. I like being with them, and even though I did really good opportunities with the office of the GCH, there was a lot of things that I really missed about that was the human component, and I really enjoyed that. And look, there's my phone going off right now with people calling me. Sorry about that. Okay, but we can move on. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all so much for all of those points. And yeah, just like just thinking about my own experience, if it wasn't for my AmeriCorps service, I wouldn't have gotten connected to a job at the legislature, which then I wouldn't have gotten to know my now current boss. So it's kind of a lot of things can be connected just through these times, through internships and AmeriCorps years. So another thing that I think it might be good to touch upon is like how these programs, internships and AmeriCorps, foster the desire to serve community. I know that you guys have touched upon this already, but if you can kind of expound a bit on it, on how these really foster that desire to serve your local community.
So I can start off with that one. So as far as AmeriCorps Vista goes, or any AmeriCorps program, so what makes it different from just an internship, all of the AmeriCorps projects serve a cause, right? That's the reason that you go into it. So you're being placed, most people after college, right, in a career that's serving environmental issues, social, economic issues, and this is your college experience. This is your first work after college, or this is how you are building your professionalism. And so it just opens the door for a lot of other opportunities within that field, versus people who may go into work with, like, no offense to like Pepsi, or, but like just jobs that don't really have a purpose, in my opinion, or may be serving the wrong purpose, who knows. But I've also been able to, through my network, get involved with other different causes. Or so I've become an urban forester. I've also gotten involved with rideshare programs here on the island. And so these are things that I feel like I wouldn't have been able to get involved with, or probably wouldn't even have known of had it not been for AmeriCorps Vista. I have been connected with Sierra Club, Hawaii, and I'm just a lot more aware of what's going on, just because this is the work that I do, and I feel like I don't think that I will, even if I do leave government or nonprofit, I feel like there will always be a component of community service in everything I do, and I will always kind of lead with that.
Yeah, I think going off of what Ryan said about being more aware of what's going on in the community, I'm sure most nonprofit workers kind of have the ability to recognize, okay, this is an issue, affordable housing is an issue, homelessness is an issue. What can I do to be a part of the change? Everyone goes into this with a good heart and wants to help. And I think that really amplifies the desire to continue doing it. I think even just growing up in Atlantic City, New Jersey, it's a very low income area, not a great area. And so even then, from a young age, I've always seen the disparities that people face and the issues of homelessness, and seeing it in front of my eyes has always wanted me, like I've always wanted to help change it and help fix it. You know, we can't fix everything, but we can be a part of the change. I think along with that, you're also you open your eyes to all the other issues that are going on in the community. So whether it be environmental or public health, public safety, you kind of have a wider view on the issues that do surround you, rather than if you do work for a larger corporation and you know about, affordable housing or homelessness. I think being at the forefront of it continues to push and give you the desire to change, and also to work for organizations that allow that change and that make an impact. Because it all comes from us, each of you guys, everyone attending this conference, we are the ones that are making the change. And I think that's the biggest part about what we do. It's the purpose.
For me, it really has been about community service ever since the beginning when I decided to make the switch to social work. Definitely, even before I even walked into this office, HDRC has been a part of my life for many of in different avenues with services and for education purposes, like always being there for when I was in college as well, telling us about their services and what they do and what is the message they carry. But then it's a very humbling thing because because they cross-section between different areas of identity and what the service has to apply to, not with just community wellness, but then also as one of the largest LGBTQIA plus service providers in all of Oceania. So it's this is something that I hold really dear to my heart as well, and something that I could really be a part of ever since that I've known about the agency, before they were even HDRC. They were Life Foundation and the Child Project before they had the merger, and they were still doing great things. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it, of being part of it. And even before I even walked in here too, I was just roaming the streets, and I just had so many things that I was going through in life. And then to know that I can serve back and to do more with the community was something special to me that I wanted to give forward before I even do anything more than just doing things more self-serving, rather than as someone who is more trying to do more for themselves rather than for others,
Thank you, Jenna. I don't have much to add. I think everybody's said a lot, but service is basically one of our core values in the profession of social work. So it's really, their field placements are the opportunity for our students to take what they've learned in the classroom and in textbooks and what they've discussed and wrote papers on, and actually put their hands to it in the field, to actually do the work. And it, for many of them, social services are not new, but being on the other side of that, because many of our students have themselves had experiences as clients or as those who receive services, and now they want to give back and be a part of the helping profession. So it's just wonderful to see that whole cycle of giving back to the community.
I just want to apologize to Davilin Chang. I see that you have your hand up, and I think you're able to unmute if you would like to ask a question. Hello. Maybe I don't know how to do this. I'm sorry. Okay, well, Davilin, if you do have a question, I guess put it in the chat, because maybe I don't know if I'm doing this right. Sorry about that.
Cheryl, let me try something. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think there was like a permission to talk button on top of there that we might have missed. But then I think if we click on top of her, we'll be able to unmute it.
I was trying to do.
I know, sorry.
Okay, well, sorry. You might have to just put it in the chat. Any comments, questions, please feel free to go ahead. Sorry about that. So would you guys be able to speak a bit about like the process of placing student interns and also matching AmeriCorps members to their sites? You know, to give a better picture of, you know, if an organization did want to connect with, you know, either the social work school or AmeriCorps members, like what process is it, you know, for students, for AmeriCorps members, as well as for you, Amy. Go ahead, UH.
I can start. It's basically contacting us. So we have a website that I think Cheryl can put in the chat, or emailing me directly. And we're always looking for new opportunities for our students in terms of new agencies and field sites. So it's really a matter of just having a discussion and some paperwork. It is one of the requirements to have someone with a master's degree in social work at the site to oversee the student, so we can make sure their educational needs are being met. But there's a lot of other pieces to it, but we have partners in many agencies already, all across the state. So I know that many of us are looking around Oahu, but if you know of any other agencies and sites on neighbor islands, please direct them our way, because we love having meaningful experiences for our students.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you, would this would social work students be able to have sites on the neighbor islands? Thank
Yes.
you.
So I should jump in and talk story about how the process, or my last process, was when applying to my current Vista position. So I was looking to get back into more meaningful work. And so I was trying to see if I could enlist into FEMA Corps again. Same process, it's on the AmeriCorps portal. And so there's a list of locations, and that's typically, I guess, how, I mean, you can look through by location, and you can search by keywords. And so I guess I ran across the positions in Hawaii, and I was like, I had already put in my application for FEMA Corps again. And I was like, why not? Let me see what's available here in Hawaii. And I saw some positions that stuck out to me. And so my first application that I put in, I didn't get the position. I think they were all through the Climate Change, Sustainability and Resilience Office. But I wasn't able to get that one. But they sent me more positions that needed to be filled on the next run or next cohort. And so I applied, and actually the one that I have now is more appealing to me than the one that I had applied for. So good. But what happened was you fill out the application, and then in this particular situation, there was a questionnaire. And so I filled out the questionnaire, and I think that helped them filter out the candidates that they wanted to go with or whatever. And after that, they offered the job. So it was pretty much like any typical job interview process. And a lot of times these positions are listed on job boards. You can find them on LinkedIn. I get emails all the time updating me on like the latest AmeriCorps positions. And because I'm connected with other Vistas and Vista leaders, I see when they're advertising them on social media. And so it's very, and I mean, even the positions are listed on the official climate change, sustainability and CCSR, their actual government site. So they have them on their opportunities section on their website. So it's very accessible. It's not a really hard thing to find if you're looking for it. But yeah, that was my process. And 2 years later, here we go. And I mean, there's an extension too. And so like, that's another thing. So after your term ends, you have the opportunity to extend up to 6 months, or you can just go in for a whole nother year. And so I actually extended mine out 2 months before I just went ahead and just did a whole another year of it. And so, and that's what's cool about it too, because in these uncertain times, you have the ability to be contract to contract. And I think that some people may see that as insecurity, but at the same time, I look at it like it's something that I can do, and I can always be able to reevaluate and see, all right, what do I need to do next? But yeah, I think that it's a really easy process, and I would recommend it to anybody.
I think to touch on the back end of it too, I don't have a ton of information since I was just an AmeriCorps member, but I am going to throw in the chat box 2 links. One, they're both from the AmeriCorps website, but one is for organizations that are interested in applying for AmeriCorps funding. So if you haven't ever had AmeriCorps at your site, this is where you would go to find out all of the information on how to add it to your organization. And then the other link is if you just want to check out AmeriCorps job postings to see what other organizations across the country have as positions. It includes the start date, it has the job role description, everything like that. So just for your convenience, if you want to check that out.
Jonah, sorry, I'm cutting you off, but I was gonna ask you if you can mention kind of the process on the offices side, since I was able to see a little bit of it, you know, how there's evaluations, like a midterm, and then I think a final evaluation, and like timesheets, just to give people like an idea of like what the organization, like the supervision part of the practicum.
Yes. So absolutely. So with all of that, with being an intern over here at with the Thompson School of Social Work and Public Health, you do have to keep track of things in the most general sense. So when we say that a lot of documentation goes into play, there's a lot of notes involved about what you do throughout your week, how to you need to be able to navigate with your field site supervisor, which Amy was talking about, having an MSW as the person that you would refer to, and then another person who would be your your field instructor. I think I'm using the terms correctly, right, Amy? So when they go through that, there's a lot of monitoring involved with them and how they get their standards accomplished from the School of Social Work. And you need to be able to meet those standards in order to build on your years of experience, right? So there's a lot that goes into trying to make sure that you have all of those points down. Are you being engaged at the legislature? Are you being able to be one-on-one with the client? How many times have you been in direct services? All those things go into play. And then there's also things on the back burner, which is making sure that you keep your school up to date about all the things that you're doing, all the concerns that you feel like that you might be addressing for your site that you need access to. Do you feel like you're getting what you want out of the site? Do you think that you're learning? Do you believe that there are things that you could be more entitled to as a learner, because you are there and advocating for your time as the student as well? And from the student's perspective, you really got to be the advocate for yourself. Otherwise, you won't learn anything and you won't be able to do anything that you want, because then there's so much that goes into your practice as a social worker as well. Can you apply that, basically?
Thanks, guys. So this might have been partially at least answered. Sorry if I'm late at looking at the question on the platform, but I see a question that came in. Do you have suggestions about resources that an agency can connect with if they want to build capacity with interns or AmeriCorps members? For example, if a site lacks an MSW to supervise an intern, do UH or other social work programs have a network of MSWs that could provide supervision? And do they accommodate telework?
I can answer that really quickly. The best thing to do is really to contact me, and I can help problem solve with that. Sometimes we do have agencies that don't have a social worker on staff, but sometimes there is a volunteer or someone on the board of directors or another community person that has a close connection to the agency that can serve as the field instructor. So most of the time we try to help figure that part out in terms of the supervision of the student. And telework, yes, with COVID, we've had all kinds of versions of fully virtual work to hybrid. We're moving more towards in-person now, but it depends on the type of work, it depends on the site. The main thing is really that the students are getting the full experience that they need to get out of a field placement. And also that they're being, helpful to the agency also. Cheryl, you're muted.
Of course, had to happen at least once. So I guess before I put up a slide again with some a bit of contact information, I just wanted to give you each a chance to kind of go around and say any last things that maybe you didn't get a chance to say yet, and yeah, just words to leave us with. Anyone first?
I'll start off. In the spirit of capacity building, I will say that has been one of the diamonds in this term of mine. Is I feel like my office has been really focused on the data, really looking at the data, and PIC is really involved, obviously, with data. But just really looking at data, and that's something that I really wanted to challenge myself at, trying to understand more. And even though I'm not like the greatest at this point, I feel like I have definitely built different research practices that I didn't have before. And I think that moving forward for future vistas, future people that come into the office, that the capacity building that I've done with data is foundational. And I think that is kind of like that's pretty much what a intern or a vista is here to do, is kind of help put that foundation in so that it can continue down the line. I think that's, we usually come in and we're handed tasks that are at, and I don't want this to sound bad, but like ground level, but like it allows us to kind of see certain things that people that can't really focus down that low, or they're more, higher up, they can't necessarily focus on those levels. And so it kind of gives us the opportunity to come in and act as little nanobots, and kind of help to like build out areas that haven't necessarily been as strong. And then once we kind of help them understand what it needs, then they can either create a position for it, or just continue down that. And if it didn't work, then hey, move on to something else. But I don't want to say the wrong not acronym, but yeah, it's that's kind of been like the highlight for me. So
yeah, I think really I covered everything I wanted to say, but I really do encourage organizations to have interns and AmeriCorps members. I think that it's not only great at building capacity for the organization itself, but you're also giving people like us the opportunity to try something, see if it's a right fit for us, and to really expand our knowledge on the organization itself, but also the duties of the job. And it's a great way to learn. But yeah, thanks for having me, everyone.
And I'll just be really quick. Cheryl, can you put up the slide that I have a couple quotes on? So just last thoughts are really just, I think I loved learning more about AmeriCorps, and as you can see from some of the chat and some of what people have said, that you could do both, as a student finishing their degree in social work, and then they could be work with AmeriCorps. And so this is just a couple quotes from some of the students. They have done wonderful things with the governor's office, worked on PSAs and videos and interviews, putting resources up, and it's a really meaningful experience for the students. So it's a great opportunity to have the students there because they bring a fresh perspective. They're not just there, for their own education, but they're there to benefit the agency. So I think that's mutually beneficial arrangement, and I hope we get more opportunities for students. And then Jenna can probably speak to it more meaningfully than I can. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. Building the capacity is the only thing that I can say. There needs to be there's always something to be more to improve on, and I think that trying to channel it from the students' point of view, like from my point of view, is just really trying to build what helps them improve their learning experience as well. For me, at the time when I was still a student, it was really more about engagement. It was more about supervision, definitely about trying to build team and to make sure that everybody kind of had their own grounds and everything like that, to know who we would report to and everything. So I think that that is a good foundation of a good team, regardless of wherever you go and wherever you intern at, is to make sure that you have that sense of access to people whenever you need it, or if it has to be, then I mean, if you need to meet with someone, I hope that somebody does come to see you to help you with that learning experience.
All right, so I think all of these things have been put in the chat, but just putting this up on the slide in case you didn't catch it. So the top is for internships and to connect with Amy. For social work students, amazing social work students. And then we have some links and contact information for AmeriCorps to be able to, find out more information. If you're thinking about being a site for AmeriCorps members, whatever kind of AmeriCorps member, or if you, whatever you may need. So guess, is there any more questions? No. If there's no questions or anything, I guess I'll say have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your Friday. I really appreciate all of the speakers today and all of you for attending this session. And thank you so much. Yeah, have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Aloha.
Thank you. Nani was here. Okay. Thanks, Cheryl, for everything. These people are still trickling out, but thank you for coordinating all of us and helping.
Thank you so much. It wouldn't have been possible without you guys.
Thanks. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
You too. See you. Bye.